What is time? The concept of time was invented by human minds. In cosmic truth, time is non-existent. Everything that exists in the universe, this existence, are all happening in the moment of now, in the consciousness of God or the existence itself. Since we human beings are part of this vast universe, and our soul that drives our human physical body is a smaller version of the spirit, whatever we are experiencing in this now moment, that is our only truth within the existence. Both on an individual level and on a collective level, we are experiencing this reality in cooperation with other souls, and all are happening in the moment of now. In this now moment, an infinite number of realities are emerging. You may have heard people say, past, present, and future are all happening in this now moment. But what does it really mean? First of all, let's explore the concept of past. What is past? When we refer to past event, we associate a time frame with that event. For instance, we say something like, my friend came to visit me 2 months ago, or my father passed away 10 years ago. Now, it doesn't make quite sense if we say that past is happening right now. My dad is not passing away right now, or my friend is not here right now. So how are these all happening in this now moment? Past events are stored memories that has passed through the now moment of our consciousness. Let me give you a demonstration as to how past memories are formed in our now moment of consciousness. Let's say at this current moment you are hungry and you are deciding what to eat. An image of your favorite food just popped up in your head. You are thinking to prepare this food. For you to prepare this food, it would mean that you need to take a trip to the grocery store, purchase all the ingredients necessary to cook this meal. Then you would come home and start preparing your meal. Once you are done prepping, you will cook this meal. At the end of this process, you will have the food ready for you to enjoy. From the very moment a thought rises in your consciousness till the moment that thought is manifested into reality, this entire sequence of this creativity is passing through the now moment. Now, let's review this event. As each frame passes through the now moment, the past framed event becomes a stored memory in our consciousness, and the final frame, which lies in the future, at some point will pass through this now moment, and when it does, the future event will be present, and this same frame would be the past as new thought will emerge in the now moment. As you can see how past, present, and future all are happening in the moment of now. At this moment, instead of thinking to create something new, if you are focusing on your past memory, then you are reliving in your past consciousness rather than being present at this moment. If you recall of a tragic past event of your life, then you are not allowing yourself to be free of that past event, and your present moment become a somber moment for you, and this become your truth at this moment. If you must focus in your past event, then choose an event when you were feeling joyous. That way, in this present moment, you can be joyous. Another example I wish to establish to prove that past and future is non-existent. If I were to ask you, what were you doing at 5 p.m. yesterday? You may say, I took my dog for a walk at the park. If I ask you to go to that 5 p.m. event of yesterday at this very moment, could you physically take yourself to that moment? That would not be possible, right? Similarly, if I were to ask you, what will you do tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.? And you may say, I'll be taking a flight to Hawaii. And if I were to tell you, Can you take yourself to tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., right at this instant? Would it be possible for you to do that? The answer would be no. Therefore, past is nothing but a stored memory of our consciousness, and future is constantly changing depending on what reality we consciously choose to experience at this current moment. If past is just a memory, why do we have physical evidence of our past events? Let's go back to the earlier example in which you had prepared a dish. When you first thought of eating your favorite food that popped up in your imagination, at that point it was just an idea. You went through a series of steps to bring that idea to life, and you finally cooked that food. The food that you cooked, the origin of that creativity first took place in your imagination. At the end of that creativity, you had produced an evidence of that creativity in a form of food. Now you have both a mental memory of this past event and a physical evidence of such event. All the material existence we see all around us, these creativities at one point was existing in one's mind. And through series of actions, they were manifested into our reality. Why is it so important to understand the significance of now moment? The purpose of our journey here on earth is to experience the light that we are. To experience the light, we must first know what light is not, which is darkness. For one cannot be comprehended without the presence of the other. In order for us to experience the darkness, our light nature had to be concealed from us. For this purpose, a veil was placed over our spiritual memory. This veil helps us to forget our spiritual origin, making our earthly experience into the darkness possible. After we are done with our experience in darkness, we are to return to our light. As we walk back into our light, we are recreating ourselves as the light that we are. Except now, we have the experience of darkness to compare in knowing our light. This entire process of us forgetting and remembering our spiritual identity is known as spiritual evolution. Since in our earthly journey, we are in a state of forgetfulness of our origin, many souls had dived too deep into darkness that they cannot hear the call of their spirit and fail to return to light. These souls, through their many lifetimes, couldn't complete their spiritual evolution as they continued to adhere to their old ways of living, following the footsteps of their forefathers, in which they are attached to their old belief system, keeping them trapped or even fall down in the spiritual ladder. In the consciousness of their now moment, only the past events thrive, and their present moment is captive of their past beliefs. To help these fallen souls, many prophets had landed on earth, and they had established guidelines to follow to help these souls return to their light. Despite a prophet's effort, many souls to this date remain trapped in the darkness due to the very fact that the original teachings of prophets kept changing throughout the passage of time. Many remain faithful to their religion and practices these guidelines, yet only a handful of few can hear the call of their spirit. This should raise a question in our mind as to why. And the answer is simple. Most of us keep focusing on the cultural aspect of religion and being fixated in a past time frame where we had different languages, different dwellings, limited vocabularies, different judicial systems than the one we currently have today. And all these aspects had influenced the expressions of messages of prophets. Most importantly, prophets were warning us about a future event that will make an end of our earth, in which the whole earth will be engulfed in fire from worldwide nuclear bombs explosions. We are living that future and on the verge of that destruction. The so-called hellfire will be in view for all of us to see. As you can see why it is important to be present and heed the messages of prophets with our current surroundings. Those souls who couldn't complete their spiritual evolution throughout many past lifetimes, these souls have now gathered on earth at this current time for an auspicious opportunity to their spiritual uprising. Currently, the 144,000 light workers or messiahs have now incarnated on earth alongside these fallen souls. These light workers are dispersed globally, helping humanity worldwide to awaken them to their spiritual truth. We all need to listen to their messages, for they are helping us shed all the false belief systems that had been established in the name of religion. They are helping us to see the truth by breaking down the walls that stood between us based on our divided beliefs. They are showing us the path to our return to our light. They had been on earth before and they have returned for our salvation to the paradise. Please be present in this time and open your eyes and ears to truly see and hear the truth. We all need to stay present at this current moment and don't let this opportunity pass us by. Our past does not decide who we are, but what we are doing right now that decides who we are. And this now moment is the only truth. Whatever mistakes we have done in the past, we have done so, given that was the level of our understanding at that moment. Besides, what we human label as mistakes are not really mistakes, but events that were necessary for our soul's evolution. All the adverse circumstances of our lives are blessings in disguise. These so-called adverse realities were brought to us by our soul for the purpose of our spiritual evolution. Therefore, we must not regret our past mistakes and condemn ourselves for our past negative experiences. Rather, we must regard them as stepping stones that leading us to our grandeur. Be present, be here, stay with me. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon below to be notified of any new video release. I love you all and I will see you soon.